Ms. Crane is the attorney for the mother. Mr. Overman's the attorney for defects. Ms. Crowley works with the guardian ad litem attorney for the child, Ms. Schrock, who is here. Ms. Whaley works with Mr. Overman. Everybody's got somebody working for them, but me.
You need to take care of that, Judge. I
Mr.
thought the clerks work for you.
I work for them.
Well, that's a good answer. I like that.
Mr. Turnipseed's the case manager. We have a couple of folks from CASA auditing the hearing. The mother, Jennifer Mercer's here. Is that Mr. Poor there with you, Ms. Mercer?
Yes, sir.
All right. And I think that's it. All right. Give me your permanency report, and then we'll have questions for Mr. Turnipseed and for the parties. Let's see where we are. I hope we're better off than we were the last time I reviewed the case. Go ahead, Mr. Overman.
Thank you, Judge. Judge, just as a proffer of what's gone on since last time, when the mother and the father, they continue to participate in services when we can get them to come see us. That's the whole issue. The therapists report when they are there, they're fully engaged and available. Unfortunately, this is the case that the biological mother was to report to the treatment facility, and the therapist talked to her about it, not putting it off, but she hadn't checked into a facility yet. We're also recommending the biological father check in because they both continue to test positive when we can get them for screens. They've missed a whole bunch. They've missed a whole bunch of visits. When we can get them to do that, and they test positive. The drug screeners have had trouble reaching them. They report they go to the house, no one answers the door, but the car's in the driveway. There's still no one answers the door. Both the biological father and mother have missed multiple visits, like I said, since the last court hearing. The transporter reports that she doesn't confirm her visits 24 hours in advance, which of course we ask her to do because of the transporter. We changed the visits recently to the defects office since they haven't been able to be screened to have visits there, and hopefully they would show up. We've had a couple of screens since then, and of course they tested positive. Meth, of course, is the drug of choice. The issue we have is that I know biological mother has car issues. That's what the transporter reports. The child's been sick. They're having doctor's appointments. They're supposed to visit twice a week for 2 hours. That hasn't taken place. And I've got a whole list of and I can go down those as far as that goes, as far as drug screens and visits. 12/21, I'll just give the last 2 months if it's okay with the court. 12/21, mom refused. 12/14, mom refused. 12/13, she missed an appointment. 11/30, she missed an appointment. 11/18, she missed an appointment. 11/19, she missed an appointment. 10/31, she missed an appointment. 10/26, she made the appointment. Is an oral swab, tested positive for amphetamines and methamphetamines. 10/10, she missed. 10/6, she missed. 10/5, she tested positive. She made the appointment. Positive for amphetamines and methamphetamines. 9/5, the urine was positive for both of those. 8/10, the hair was positive for both of those. 8/8, was positive. 8/8, positive again. Had THC in that one as well. 7/22, positive for both. 6/27 missed. Believe it or not, 6/22, she had a urine screen and it was negative. So, and 6/15, it was positive for amphetamines, methamphetamines. So you can see with dad, it's missed appointment after missed appointment after missed appointment. 27th, 21st, 8th of November. 31st, it was a missed appointment. 26, he refused. 23rd, he missed. 18th of October, he missed. 10/9 was positive for amphetamines and methamphetamines and an oral swab as well as urine swab. And the list goes on. So we think they both need to be in inpatient treatment. Mom, we actually sent mom a place to fill out. We haven't, I don't think it's been done. So when they do engage, when there are very few appointments that they've made, but when they do, supposedly the therapist says they really engage. But unfortunately, with the list we've got right now, and it's been more than 6 months, the department, as part of 1511-216, the court can at that point ask to go to a concurrent case plan for reunification. And we think it's certainly appropriate now with all these missed appointments that the court do that. We're asking the court to do that, but we haven't filed anything to change a case plan yet. But I think 216 allows the court, if it considers substantial progress not being made, that the court can do that. And we think it's certainly appropriate now. But that would be my report. Now I will ask Mr. Turnipseed, you're under oath. Is the information I provided true and correct to the best of your knowledge?
Yes, the concern that the department has is the fact that when it comes to the drug screens, the drug screeners didn't have the up-to-date numbers for the parents.
Okay.
I speak with Jennifer when she came to the office, what was that, on the 26th, I believe, to have her visit, that they need to give the providers updated phone numbers, because if they're reaching out to them and they can't get in contact with them, they're going to randomly come out to the house and it's going to be a missed appointment. And it's getting to the point now where they only have about 5 to 6 missed appointments per month before those appointments turn into refusals, because the screens are running out of missed appointment schedules for the service authorization. So each month they have a certain number of missed appointments that they can have before the screener has to start using refusals. Aside from that, like you said, I already spoke with mom about confirming visits 24 hours ahead of time. That's the real issues are coming from the drug screener and the transporter that supervises the children. As far as their classes and meeting with therapists goes, those have been consistent and in person because the actual therapist does not live far from the home. So we're at the point now where we have to try to schedule drug screens around their sessions and therapy sessions to try to get things going.
Okay.
Like I said, I spoke with mom about it. She's aware of it. And the other thing is with dad, we don't have a current address. So the screeners, when they do the randoms, they go out to the home in Jackson. And if dad doesn't live there, that goes down as a missed appointment. Aside from that, I've spoken with dad about getting with the transporters as well, because he gets off work very late. I think the last time I spoke with him last month via telephone, it was about 7, 8 o'clock at night, and he was still at work during that time. So we're just trying to find some type of common ground here so that, the case doesn't truly implode.
But when they test, I will ask questions if I can, Judge. When they do test, when they do have drug screens, they're positive for meth and amphetamines. Is that correct?
Yes, they have been positive. Dad does deny the use of drugs as well. So
And the department feels like inpatient is certainly necessary now based on the length of time. Is that correct?
correct.
Okay. Judge, I think that's all I have for Mr. Turnipseed.
Mr. Turnipseed, how many visits has Ms. Mercer made since I counted she would have had, if she'd made every visit since June. The child came into care in May, and sometime mid-May I set 2 visits a week. But I've got about 60 visits should have been made till the end of December. And of course, we're 1 week into January, but I'm not counting that one. So how many visits has she made out of 60 or approximately 60 visits?
We're under half. I want to say at minimum, it's been about 20. However, since the last time we went to court, I want to say that was about October. I think mom was able to make about three of those visits, and one we scheduled due to mom missing the last visit. I had another transporter schedule a visit for her and dad. I think they met at the Wendy's.
But you're approximating that she's made 30% of her visits,
Correct.
and she didn't come to court in October when we had the review, correct?
I don't think so.
I'm almost positive she didn't. Let me look to make sure. No, she wasn't here. The lawyer was here, but she wasn't. And neither was Mr. Poor. Ms. Crane, you have any questions for Mr. Turnipseed?
No, Your Honor.
Ms. Schrock?
Yes, sir. And somebody can correct me if I'm wrong, but I am under the understanding that the case plan is already a concurrent case plan. Unless we changed it back, I'm looking at the order of disposition because the department had presented a non-reunification case plan initially, and that was denied by the court. And according to the order of disposition, we approved a concurrent case plan for the mother at that time. Unless I'm wrong and there's something I'm not looking at, somebody can correct me.
The clerk tells me that you're correct.
July 17th, concurrent as to mom reunification as to dad.
My dad's plan was reunification and mom's was concurrent, because of the older child that had come into care for lengthy and was placed with a relative.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that blew up, but
And I apologize, Judge. My intent was to say that both parents go to concurrent case plan.
well, one already is.
Yes, and we'd like the other one to go that way too. And I do have a question. You had said earlier, I think that Miss Crane was mom's attorney. I had in my notes that Miss Crane was the parent's attorney. I don't know if
That's right. She is, and she represents Mr. Poor as well. I'm sorry.
Okay.
That was my oversight. All right. Anybody have any questions for either parent?
No, sir.
I just have one to find out if mom has had a chance to get her car fixed or if it's drivable or not drivable.
We just, oh, I'm sorry.
That's all right.
We just got a car like 2 days ago. A friend is letting us borrow his car for, as long as we need it.
That's all I have, Judge.
Is Mercer, are you planning to reunite with this child?
I am. Of course. Just the whole not having a car over the last couple months has been.
There are tons of parents that raise their kids and don't have cars, so that's bogus. Don't even insult us.
I don't have any other way to get there.
You have family members in the area. Isn't the older child Bentley, isn't he with grandmother?
Yes.
Your mother?
Yes.
She can't help you get around?
No. No, sir.
She won't help you get around, or she can't help you get around?
Can't.
Ma'am?
She can't.
Does she not have a license?
She does. Her car, the oil filter came out of. Anyway, all the oil went out of it. Her car is needs a new motor, and this all happened like pretty much at the same time. Like we went from having 3 running vehicles to not having anything in like a period of like 2 weeks.
It was just like
Oh,
bad,
yeah.
very
Tell me,
bad
how
luck.
do you, if you don't have any way to get to visits, you don't have any way to get to drug screens, how do you get places to get drugs that you keep using and testing positive for? How do they come to your house and deliver?
No,
Well, how do you get them?
I mean, haven't had any. That's the thing. Like I can't even get to the grocery store.
I want to know how you get in the meth if you don't have vehicle and don't have transportation.
I'm not.
Well, did you just hear him testify that the string of positive drug tests just for the last 5 months, the ones that they can get?
Well, I haven't had one in a while.
Well, and whose fault is that?
Mine.
Okay. And why aren't you in residential rehab? Like you told me face to face at the first hearing in this case back in May, that you wanted to check yourself in and get help and get right so you could get your child back. What happened? We're
Well, I have I
9
have
months. Do what?
I have a surgery scheduled this month,
And what is the
and
surgery for?
well, it's on my ankle, but like I can't hardly, I haven't been able to hardly like walk for the past 2 years. I've been waiting to have the surgery for a long time.
Well, when we talked in May about going to rehab, I don't remember you saying one word about needing to get surgery on your ankle that you've been needing for 2 years. Did you?
Well, I
Did
got an
you tell me
official.
about the ankle and needing surgery?
I don't recall. I don't believe so.
Okay. Well, if you'd gotten on the stick and done what you said you were going to do and what I told you to do, you would be ready. You would be through with rehab. You would be hopefully clean for the foreseeable future, and you could have taken care of your ankle with nothing hanging over your head. Where are you doing the surgery?
It's February 1st.
Where?
Oh, where it's at Atlanta Orthopedics. Oh, Piedmont Orthopedics in McDonough.
Well, in McDonough, there's no hospital where is it an
Well,
outpatient procedure?
I'm assuming they do it at, you know, Piedmont Henry,
Yeah,
but there's
Stockbridge, not
offices.
McDonough.
Yeah,
That's why.
yes.
So, and how long are you supposed to be in the hospital?
I mean, just for like the
How do you
day.
not know this stuff if
I mean,
if you're
it's a
getting ready to have
surgery.
surgery? Ma'am?
I mean, it's a surgery, probably a couple of hours, so probably like for the day.
So is it outpatient? Ma'am,
Well,
they tell
it's
you what the
outpatient. It's
plan
outpatient.
is, whether it's overnight or
No,
just
it's
outpatient when you
outpatient.
come
It's
in.
outpatient.
Okay. What's the name of the doctor?
Dr. Porter.
Dr. Porter?
Yes, sir.
And who's paying for the surgery?
My insurance carrier.
You have insurance
Yes.
through
That
provider.
I didn't have before. That's why I didn't have the surgery much sooner, because I
How did you get
couldn't.
health insurance if you can't afford a car? Do you have a job?
No.
Are you on
But
Medicaid?
yes.
And why are you on Medicaid if you don't have a dependent child in your care?
It's not exactly it's like the face like marketplace
Okay.
entrance.
Well, that's not Medicaid. If you went through the marketplace and got insurance
Yes.
on yourself.
Yes.
All right, that's good. How do you pay the premiums?
It's free.
No, I'm not aware of the marketplace being free. It's discounted. Y'all, you lawyers who know more than I know, or somebody to. I've
I'm
been
not-
lucky enough to have employer provided.
I'm not aware that marketplace is free, Judge.
It's
Any insurance carrier.
based on income, it can be substantially reduced to a reasonable premium, but that's news to me if it's free.
Well, I mean, I searched. I mean, it was not easy to
I'm
to
sure.
get.
Okay.
And I was pretty desperate because I really
What's
like
the name of it?
needed surgery.
What's the name of it?
Gosh, I'm really, I have Oscar.
Okay. Are you and Mr. Poor married? I know I've asked that before, but I can't remember what you told me.
No, we're not legally married.
Okay. And Mr. Poor has not done anything about legitimating the child.
I thought they said when I done the first test and everything that they said that was for me to get legitimized.
But you have to file a lawsuit to have a court declare that you are the legal father of the child, that's in the best interest of the child. That
Ain't
you,
no one told me.
don't interrupt me, please.
I apologize.
You have to file a lawsuit and have the court declare that you are not only biologically the father, that you should be his legal father, that it's in his best interest that that legal relationship be established.
Your
And
Honor,
it requires more than just the paternity test.
Your Honor, if I may, one of the issues there is that we already have a legal father. We have a father whose rights will have to be terminated from Mr. Poor to
What?
legitimate the child.
Where's the legal father?
Miss Mercer, where's your husband?
I don't have a husband.
Okay, I'll go back through and review my
I'm
my
confused.
records.
I'm August's dad.
I'll go back through and review my records.
Mr. Poor, when I first met you, and you weren't here last time either, did I tell you in Georgia the difference between a putative father and a legal father?
I don't recall.
Okay, well, in Georgia, if you're just the biological putative father, you have no legal rights to the child that you sired. You have to have legitimated the child or have been married to the mother, and you're neither. So, and if mom has an undissolved prior marriage, then she can't marry you. But I don't know if that's correct. Miss Mercer said she's not married to somebody. So those are things you need to confer with your lawyer about. Are you having the same transportation issues for these missed visits and missed drug screens, Mr. Poor?
I work every day, Your Honor, like literally every day. I'm right when I get done with this right here, I have to go right back to work.
Where do you work?
I work for A1 Pumping and Repair.
They come take you around and do it.
I get picked up every morning and I get dropped off every evening.
So you don't have your own transportation. You're relying on coworkers or friends or relatives.
I have transportation, but that's just what they do because one of my coworkers lives literally right down the road from where I stay.
All right. So you have your own vehicle and transportation?
Yes, sir.
Why can't Ms. Mercer use that? She says she has no way to get anywhere. If you're getting a ride to work, why can't she use the car and go to the things she needs to take care of for this case?
I'm buying it from my stepdad, and the stipulations were I can't let no one else drive it.
Was that stipulation in writing?
Yes, sir. And he said that's the only way because I pay for the insurance, but it's in his name, so he don't want no one driving it or anything else.
So the car is in whose name?
My stepfather's.
How much more do you have to pay before he gives you the title?
Another about 7 grand.
My God, this kid will be grown before you pay that off. What kind of car are you buying?
A 2013 Dodge Dart Elite.
Are you listed as an authorized driver on the insurance policy?
Yes, sir.
I'm just curious. It indirectly may have something to do with this case, but if
Well,
you're in every waking hour, surely you must be making enough money. You could get your own car loan, may not be that car, and so that you and Ms. Mercer both would have transportation.
I'm on commission, and like I'm working. I just got put on commission, but I'm doing the best I can, Your Honor.
And like when my dad passed away over here, like we have to help my mom a lot with all the expenses over here. And we live in a large house. I mean, and it's expensive just to keep it, running. Electricity's going up. Everything is just going up and up and up.
Yeah. Well, I hate to tell you, but just listening to the two of you about all these issues, you've just got higher priorities than August Poor. He's at the low end of the totem pole.
That's not true, Your
Well,
Honor.
it is true. You've proven it. You may not want to say it. You may not want to admit it, but from a third party from the outside looking in, he's not a high priority. You're taking care of mother-in-law. You're taking care of this. You're doing whatever about your car where your girlfriend or whatever you want to refer to her as is hamstrung and can't do anything about her case. And
Your Honor.
foreseeable future, this child's going to be up for adoption.
No, Your Honor. Listen to me. I work every day. That's just the stipulations that my stepfather made with the car, and I'm not going to go behind him and
I'm not asking you to go behind it.
I know that, Your Honor, but I'm just saying I work every day. I'm doing everything I can for my kids. I'm doing everything I can, period. Like,
how does Ms. Mercer get her meth if she doesn't have any way to get anywhere? Do you bring it to her?
no, sir.
You don't know how she gets it?
No, sir.
Okay. And you don't use it. You just keep testing positive because you live with somebody using meth. Is that it? Is that your explanation?
I don't know how to answer that, sir. I honestly really don't.
Well, if you're not answering it, the only legal grounds you have to not answer it is to take the Fifth Amendment privilege against self-incrimination. Is that what you're doing?
What am I incriminating? I don't know the whole laws or anything else.
Well, you have to answer my questions unless you have a legal privilege not to answer it. The only legal privilege you could have is that the answer to my question would incriminate you, point to your guilt of a crime, like using drugs, possessing drugs, distributing drugs.
No, sir.
Otherwise, you have to answer my question. So answer the question. You said you don't get her the drugs. Who gives her the drugs?
I don't know, Your Honor. I just know that
your explanation was for your testing positive that it must be because you're around people using drugs and you somehow have inhaled meth smoke or do something higher frequently enough to test positive. Is that your explanation for testing positive when you say you don't use meth?
I didn't say that, but yes, Your Honor. I've
You
been.
didn't say you didn't use meth?
That's not what I was saying.
Well,
I was saying
the lawyer said that you had been denying using any drugs that would cause you to test positive, even though you tested positive. So you're now admitting that you've used drugs, and that would explain why you tested positive?
yes, sir.
Okay.
Your Honor, if I may,
Sure.
I'd like to try to clarify again for the court. Ms. Mercer, I apologize. Earlier, I thought maybe I was confused, and so I went to look. Do you not recall telling me that you were married, that your husband was in hospice dying, and that he asks about August and seeing him?
That's my dad.
Well, it says my husband is with hospice and is dying.
Maybe my mom said that.
You're speaking to her mother?
No, these are texts from you, ma'am. I was just making sure because it really is important. If I'm going to file a legitimation for someone, I have to know what type of legitimation. And if I need to terminate someone's rights, then I need to know that. And I have multiple texts where you indicate that you're married. I just need it clear.
I just have what phone number this from? Is
You
it
got a bad connection.
786?
I can't hear you, Ms. Mercer. Repeat what you just said.
Is it 667? Is that the number that the texts are from?
Yes, it is.
Yeah, that's my mother. I mean, at the time, like I didn't have a cell phone,
So
so
your mother's impersonating you?
no, like she was taught, like I was using it and she was using it. Like she, like
Your Honor, I'll take care of it. That's fine.
All right. Anybody else have any questions for Mom or Mr. Poor?
Judge, I just have one question. If we could get Dad to provide maybe a possible relative that the child could go to as a kinship placement while we continue the foster care stage.
Well, isn't the child with a relative now?
No.
Oh, no, that's Bentley is with the grandmother, not, okay. Hold on. I'm looking for well, I think you need to update your relative search, Mr. Turnipseed. I'm looking at the one, the only relative identified then was Christopher Mercer, who I don't think would be neither one that had Bentley and turned him back in.
Correct. That was before before they relinquished their guardianship.
Yeah, I know, but still, just so we don't have any for Mom or Dad unless I can't find a supplement. So you got 10 days to update your relative search report. Mr. Poor, do you have any relatives?
Yes, sir.
Well, you need to sit down in the few minutes, but when you get home at midnight, before you go back out the next morning, you need to sit down and write legibly the name of each relative you have, an adult, whether or not you think they'd be appropriate placement. If you don't think they'd be appropriate, make a note as to why and give Mr. Turnipseed by the close of business tomorrow that list of relatives and their contact information, phone number and address. Okay?
Yes, sir.
And Ms. Mercer, you do the same thing. Okay?
yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Miss Mercer, I need your email address so that I can get in touch with you and know that I am speaking with you.
Okay.
Gmail?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Mhm.
I'll go ahead and send you an email so you have mine.
Thank you.
Did your doctor, Ms. Mercer, tell you after you had this ankle surgery or foot surgery on, what did you say? February what?
February 1st.
Okay. Did he tell you how long you would be in a boot or on crutches or when you could go back to work, although you don't work? But
6 to 8 weeks.
6 to 8 weeks.
But I'm hoping that won't, be that long.
For what? What else do you have to do? You're not working. You're not raising your child. It sounds like you're helping your mother.
Well, I mean, if I can't walk, I'm not going to be able to walk. So, I mean, if I'm going to be in a lot of pain.
Did you get the insurance that is allowing you to get this surgery that you've needed for 2 years?
I want to say About maybe a month ago.
You've had time to have gone to rehab and finished rehab. As soon as, anything else from anybody?
Judge, I just asked you to make the findings in 216.
The court finds that neither parent has made significant progress on their respective case plans. Dad's putative father's case plan is now, permanency plan is now concurrent along with the mother's who already is. Do we have a drug and alcohol assessment on Mr. Poor that recommends residential treatment?
No, his substance abuse assessment doesn't recommend it, but they've had two providers and both do agree on the parents going into inpatient treatment.
I can't go into inpatient rehab because I work. I will lose my job. I will lose my car. I will lose everything I have.
So now all you're going to lose is your child. That's, I think
No,
that's
sir, that's not what I'm saying.
trade.
I'm just saying it's hard out here to get a job.
I didn't say it wasn't, Mr. Poor.
So if I go to rehab, I will lose my job.
Most people do when they go to rehab because there's no way. You're right. Remember what I said earlier about priorities.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Well, as far as I'm concerned, based on the lack of progress, DFACS is welcome to go ahead and file for termination at any time.
Please don't do that.
The mom,
Judge.
you have 8, I'm talking now, you have 8 weeks from your surgery on February 1st to enroll in residential drug treatment and successfully complete it. Dad, you've already told me you can't do it because you want to work, but
I will do it. I will do it. I'll do it. I'll do it. If I have to, I will do it.
you have 4 weeks to get into residential drug treatment and successfully complete it. That neither parent has visited even remotely regularly. Mom has missed over 60 to 70% of her visits. They both have repeatedly tested positive for methamphetamines. And that's, you can take an order and all the other parts of their case plan remain in effect. The twice a week visits, the drug screens, no more refusals to take a drug screen. There's absolutely no reason to refuse. I mean, other than you know you're going to test positive and you don't want to test positive, but I mean, you're just delaying the inevitable. You can take an order and circulate it to council for their approval that it recites correctly what I ruled. And let's give the folks the next court date because it'll be coming up pretty soon. Clerk says the next is what date? February?
February 5th, 8 o'clock.
5th at 9 o'clock. 8 o'clock. I thought this was the 9-month review. I had preempted that and I wanted to see you earlier because I was concerned about how you were going to do for good reason, I guess. And so technically the 9-month permanency review is in February. So don't miss that appointment with us and we'll do it on Zoom unless somebody objects. Anybody want to come in person and not do it on Zoom? Tell me. I'm here live and in person in the courthouse. You can come and join me here or you can do it on Zoom. Which do you prefer, Ms. Mercer and Mr. Poor?
Zoom.
Anybody object to Zoom?
No,
No,
you're
Judge.
Right.
No, sir.
It's very important, Mr. Poor and Ms. Mercer, that you keep Mr. Turnipseed and your lawyers apprised of your current phone number, your current mailing address, and your current email address. Okay? So if you
Yeah.
haven't done that, please do that. Okay?
Yes, sir.
All right. Everybody take care. Stay out of the bad weather and stay out of the cold.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, Judge.